Hey guys, Dirty Visor here. You're joining me on something different today. This is Ducati Diavel, kindly given to me by Italiamoto of Lincoln, Johnny, a matter of fact. So if any of you guys are interested in anything from Ducati, go speak to Johnny and he'll be able to sort you out. We all like to support each other where we can. So yeah, I've kindly been lent this by Johnny to give it a shakedown whilst my superleggera is being serviced. Thank you. Yeah, so it's having its first service on the superleggera, and I will be doing a video of that bike with all its fairings off to show you actually the engineering and the internals to the bike. So if you are interested, make sure you subscribe so you'll be notified, and press that little finger blast that little bell button to make so you'll be notified if and when when I do that video and all the other content I've got coming up soon. So it's very smooth ride. Mirrors you can clearly see behind. Some sport bikes you just see your elbow, so that's nice to have. This bike actually weighs 234 kilos, so it's certainly a lot heavier than my superleggera, which is about 156 kilo. But this is 1200cc, so the cc is very similar to mine. The riding position is much comfier than a sport bike, but I have to say I have been used to riding the superleggera, and I do feel round the corners this is a bit unwieldy for me. It's a power cruiser, it's not a sports bike. And just like going around this corner here, I do have to watch my balance because, like I said, I'm not really used to it. You are open to the elements, so doing on a sports bike, as most sport bike owners will tell you, when you do 60 miles an hour it feels like 30. This, you do 60 and you feel like you're doing 60. There's no screen here, so you feel every single mile an hour you do on this bike. See if we can overtake, indicate. It makes for a different riding experience altogether than a sports bike. Oh, slow down a bit, go a bit too fast. I'll do a walk around when I find somewhere to stop and show you around the bike and show all the display and everything like that. There is actually a fuel gauge, I don't know if you can see there, where it actually gives you the measurement of the fuel, which makes a nice change. Generally, most bikes coming out now, they just tell you when you've reached the reserve level, so a light will just come on. It won't actually give you any indication of how much fuel is left in the tank. So yeah, that's nice to see. There is 3 modes on this. I've currently got it in urban mode, which dulls down everything, restricts it to, well, sorry, I don't think I mentioned, this bike's actually got 162 horsepower if memory serves. Don't quote me on anything, about 160 horsepower. But then when you put it in urban mode, it dulls it down to 100, and obviously dulls down all the other electronic settings. It's got traction control, ABS, but yeah, oh yes, I never realised that, but it even lets you know how many horsepower it's restricted. But let's switch it back into sport mode. You've got sport, touring and urban. Obviously sport is the most extreme of everything, unleashing all the power the bike has to offer. Yeah, this is just as fast as any sports bike. Dare I say it, from 0 to 60 or from a stand start or, you know, low down, is maybe just as quick as the superleggera. You've got a big, nice, fat rear tyre. Maybe that's why the handling doesn't, you know, it feels like, you got confidence, but it feels different to my superleggera, which is obvious, may seem obvious. Let's see if we can overtake. Yeah, more than enough power, no quick shifter like on the superleggera. I'll have to say the gearbox is a little bit, I don't like it. I mean, I'm not an expert rider, as you probably already know now, but whoop, It's not smooth like I'm used to, and it took me, I'll have to be honest, it takes about half an hour to find neutral for me. It's very difficult. When I first rid it, I did struggle for about 10 minutes trying to find it in some traffic lights. This bike is brand new, 2017, it's done 1,000 miles, and underneath we have a cool little display. I'll have to be honest, I didn't have any idea. I just assumed it was similar to the 959 and Leggera, the layout, but this is the first time I've really looked at this bike, and yeah, I didn't know it was all set up like this. It's kind of funky, I like it, it's growing on me. And also the Diavel, I've never really considered the Diavel. I mean, I've seen it at the dealership when I've been, but I haven't really taken much notice of it, because when it's you know, you've got all these beautiful Italian sports bikes and touring bikes, all different colours, and then you just got this black thing in the background, it kind of got lost on me. But I have to say, especially the look of this bike, it's getting as much attention, if not more attention, than the superleggera. It certainly has and it certainly has a road presence as well. You feel like, you know, I can imagine a Harley Davidson feeling the same as this to ride. You know, you just feel like a real man on this bike. I have to be careful because, like I said, it does feel a bit unwieldy and big round corners, and I've been used to the superleggera, which is obviously the pinnacle of the sport bike range. Oh, Popo 50. Well, I was alright, I won't go too fast anyway. Yeah, so this is a completely different to a sports bike, but it is growing on me. The more I ride it, the more I like it. Seating position, your legs are up, you're not hunched. The seat is very soft and squidgy. There isn't any passenger seat, but maybe, I don't know, maybe you could put a pillion seat on the back, I'm not sure about that. Certainly very torquey in the, you know, it's got plenty of power, low grunt power. I assume it's a V-twin, but don't hold that against me. This has actually got keyless go, which is a feature I'm really liking. Basically, you've got the key, or let's check that it's still in my pocket. Yeah, you've got the key. It does have the key part on it as well to open this fuel gauge, the fuel cap, but you just approach near the bike and you can just basically start it. I'll show you when I do a walk around, when I find somewhere to stop soon. I might stop there. You do feel kind of like a hooligan on this bike. You know, you're sitting up comfy, you know, you think you can just nip in and out. It does feel heavy though, but side stand, just easy to find, no problem. Okay, so to turn it off, you just put this down and then put that back up. So here we have it. I've had a chance to pull over. Sorry if there's any vehicles passing, but this was the best place I could find. So here we are. I do think this this has a great look, and the look of this is growing on me. It just looks mean and aggressive. It looks like a Batmobile. £15,500, this could be yours. This is the base version. There are carbon editions, as far as I'm aware, and other variants to it. But very fat rear tyre. I'm not sure if that's the reason the balance of the bike is feels a bit unwieldy round corners. And I love these wheels, like deep set in deeply. Yeah, very nice. Exhaust looks great. Are they foot pegs? Oh yeah, they're rear foot pegs, so I assume this can be changed for a pillion seat. As I mentioned before, I've never really taken much notice of this when I've seen them in the showroom, because you're flooded with so many white and red Ducatis. I've never really, you know, it's never grabbed my attention, but on its own, sat in front of work on its own, it's certainly grabbing people's attention, and it's certainly growing on me as well. Fully adjustable shocks, Brembo brakes, you know, everything that you could you expect from a £15,500 bike. Let me show you how to right, so this is what you have to do. So to start it, push this down, put it back up, and then just press the button and you're on. You've got indicators, indicator light here, right, reset, what's that, ABS light there, engine management light, neutral, that's a spare I assume, oil, fuel, high beam, and then indicator again. Like I mentioned briefly earlier, got time, miles an hour, RPM, temperature, and there's a little funky little display here, and you got the fuel. Oh, there we got it, sport mode, and then 162 horsepower, that's what it's opened the bike up to. When I had it in the other urban mode earlier, it was 100 horsepower, and then the traction control setting, that's how, you know, that's what it's set at now. It needs a service, that's why that's come up. The average fuel economy, the gear, and the mileage. And then we've got a fuel filler, normal, like the normal fuel cap there. And this is the key, this is keyless. So if I want to stop the bike now, I just push that back down and then push it back up. And also I should show you, if you want to, some of you may be thinking, how do you do steering lock? Put it on a steering lock. You put the bike, push the handlebars there, and hold this back down, keep it held, keep it held, keep it held, and a light should come up here. No. Oh yeah, the lights come up there, keep it held, and keep it held, and then it's automatically locked. Now, there, you can't unlock it. And then to de-lock it, I think, just push it back down, yeah. And then all the warning lights come up, all this come up, push that back up, and then press the start button. Very nice. Not much carbon on this bike, but if you want the, oh, I dropped the key. If you want the, let me turn this off. If you want the more carbon, obviously you spend an extra £1,000 and get the carbon version to this. But there we have it. I'll head back and I'll see you guys in a sec. I must say I've been pleasantly surprised by this bike. I didn't think I'd enjoy it quite as much as I have done. Sport mode is the mode to have it in. I'm used to obviously the superleggera, so that's, you know, having it in sport mode feels as close to riding the superleggera as possible. Well, obviously 162 bhp is a lot different to 100, but the bike is completely different. The purpose of this bike is completely different to a sports bike. Would I purchase one of these? I see myself certainly in a few years' time, when I start having health problems, back issues, impotency problems. Actually, that has nothing to do with it. And I already have them problems already. Not really. I don't even have a girlfriend, remember. That's what some kind subscriber said. But yeah. Oh, certainly got a lot of torque, run. Certainly feels just as quick as the 959. It's just around corners like this I feel a bit, you know, unstable. maybe the more I'm getting used to the bike, the more confidence I feel going around corners. Maybe it's just I don't understand the bike yet. Riding a bike for a test drive of about an hour or 30 minutes, like the typical test drive that people allow, isn't really long enough. You need a day, 2 days, 3 days to truly get to know a bike. And as I've had the opportunity to have this for a day and a half now, and start to learn its capabilities, and the more I'm using this, the more I'm really liking it and enjoying it. Especially the power. It's 1200cc, and you certainly feel every one of them cc's. Go on, hurry up. Power! Yeah! Slow down. I think this bike can keep up with any sports bike if the rider's a good rider, obviously. It's not lacking in that department, I'm telling you. And it's smooth, it's much smoother, especially the Leggera. You know, it just soaks up them bumps. You know, if I was an older gentleman, well, I'm getting old, but if I was even older, like say I was 50, 60 years old, you know, this has the looks, it has the presence, it has the name, obviously the brand Ducati. You know, what more can a guy want? And it's got the smoothness, got the riding position. I could spend hours on this bike, I feel, and not have any issues at all. With arms aching, arms are up here. You could put a woman on the back, you could cruise for hours. Perhaps I would like cruise control. It is a cruiser, this bike, so it might be a good idea when they introduce the next version to put cruise control. But apart from that, great bike. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't done already, please subscribe to show your support, and make sure you finger blast that notification bell so you're made aware when I release, upload or make more videos. Oh, that neutral light's flashing. I assumed it didn't have neutral neutral sat in properly, you know what I mean. Oh, you see, this is what I don't like. It's a bit, you know, I could quite easily tip and lose my balance. Yeah, so make sure you subscribe if you can, please, and I'll see everyone soon, and take care. Thanks a lot. Cheers.